Hi guys, my name is Winnie and welcome to the Wheelspin Podcast, the home of Formula One content and everything motorsport. Welcome to our Monaco Grand Prix race debrief. And I think I want to just start this on a high. I think today we'll just dive into the real reason why we're here. Charles Leclerc finally won his home Grand Prix after honestly, in 2018 at DNF, 2019 at DNF, 2021 did not start. 2022 a finish in fourth, 2023 finished in sixth, and finally in 2024 he is a Grand Prix winner. And I think I was so tempted to start this particular debrief with we are out with he's got one more corner to go. The famous Parabolica. Mercedes threw everything at him today. But Charles Leclerc coped brilliantly. He won in Spa. He wins in Monza. Charles Leclerc is the winner of the 2019 Italian Grand Prix. We are out with that. And we're in with this one. The grandstands. He's so built as a child. Growing up. What was the other part? It really was iconic. Wait, I'm missing it. I had memorized it, guys, for you because it's so iconic. The grandstands, he's so built as a kid growing up, now rise for him. For the first time in 93 years, this fabled race is won by one of their own. Charles Leclerc wins the Monaco Grand Prix. I don't know, guys. I don't think you can get better than that. Like, I feel like Charles Leclerc's victories in Formula One are iconic, and this win for him in Monaco is as iconic can get. This is his home race. He's had that run of misfortune around the circuit, but finally he was able to overcome it. And I think everyone was crying because it was so emotional. I think Arthur Leclerc, his younger brother, whose races he's also like a Ferrari driver. He's in the Ferrari develop. He's in the Ferrari Academy. Jesus, what's happening today? Yeah, so he described this is the first time he's cried with his brother winning, like Arthur Leclerc, Charles Leclerc's younger brother. And it's true, as in, I couldn't believe it. Like, it was so emotional. I was so happy for him. I know how much this meant for him. And in the team radio, he's dedicating this win to his dad, who passed on in 2017 before he could see him, race in Formula One. And he dedicated this win to Jules Bianchi, who happens to be his godfather, who also unfortunately passed on in a very nasty Formula One accident. And I think this win was so emotional for Charles. It was he dedicated it to them. He's all the time. This is where his passion was nurtured. Watching the cars drive around his home, the Monaco Principality, and for him to actually do it for the first time in 93 years that a Monegasque driver has won the Monaco Grand Prix. That is really impressive stuff as well. So I was there with him. I was crying there with him. I think this is the power of motorsport sometimes. Formula One is as powerful as that gets because I was in tears with him because I am so happy for him and excited for his future as well. So I think I'll just start the race debrief right there. Charles Leclerc had a very strong weekend. He came on Friday, bangers on, practice FP1, FP2, FP3. Everything seems, okay, even after running during one of the practice sessions, running over debris of Zhou Guanyu. I think Zhou had a moment with the walls. We always say the walls in Monaco, and I think I've said this in the. Oh, by the way, guys, this is a year. We're celebrating a year of the Wheelspin podcast. Yes, I think the first race debrief we did here was the Monaco Grand Prix from last year. And the whole sentiments I had, the tension between the Formula One drivers and the Monaco walls, huge. And that is the whole thing in Monaco, the walls, the tension between the Formula One drivers and their cars and the Monaco walls, they're always fast approaching. So there's yeah, I'm always saying the Monaco walls are getting action. They didn't get so much action this weekend because the drivers seemed to behave and cope brilliantly, really, because we didn't see so much apart from that. We didn't really see a very bad accident during the practice before Sunday. That is, the driver seemed to nail it well. Remember, this is a track; it's a street circuit. Street circuit meaning that these are roads that are used on normal days by normal road cars as well. So narrow streets, the walls are right there. So one mishap, you are out. Like one misstep in your car, very punishing. The streets of Monaco, very narrow. Overtaking is close to impossible, and so qualifying track position is very, very important. I think we would say that in our race preview that you can always check out on our Instagram. So yeah, so this is really like big for me and big for us here at the World Spin Podcast as well. This is 1 year of you guys tuning in and of our existence. Yay to sustainability. We've turned a year older. And to celebrate that, we also have very big, exciting news to come your way this week. So keep it tuned, the World Spin. Make sure you're following us on all our social media handles at the World Spin Podcast, on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Did I just say Snapchat? We're not on Snapchat. It's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, I think we'll have and also on YouTube as well. We'll make sure we post the announcement here as well. So we have very big news, very exciting news from us this weekend. Make sure, yeah, it's really like big. It's actually scaring me, but like I'm so sure you'll be excited for it. So yeah, so Monaco is always, so for me, Monaco is really almost like, when we go to Monaco all the time, I'm like, this will be a mark of how long we've been doing this podcast or how long we'll be doing this. We've been running this platform. Yeah, so I'm really, really proud of the Will Spin Podcast, and I'm proud of our fans as well for always tuning in. You're the reason why we keep on going. Anyways, let's get back into the race. So yeah, as I was saying, there wasn't so many accidents or incidents really in practice or like yeah, so I think the drivers seem to behave nicely. So as I was saying, track position around Monaco, very, very important because the streets are narrow during the race. You don't have, no matter how fast you are sometimes, because the driver in front of you is the one who controls the race. So you can end up, and we saw that in the race. I'm actually jumping gun right now. We saw like Verstappen on very fresh tires and Russell on very, very old mediums, and he still was not able to do any progress on his fresh rubber. Verstappen was not able to make that move on George Russell. So yeah, one thing that stood out for me, and this is really like hilarious in the sense that weird things I have seen done in Formula One, the garages by the teams. So I saw them trying to hit something from Leclerc's car with a hammer. A hammer. Yes, they were using a hammer in the Ferrari garage. I don't know what they were trying to get out. Also, the other weird thing I saw was tape. There was one of the Red Bull's car that had a tape on it. Like, this is like the pinnacle of motorsport, sophisticated technologies. But yes, there's a hammer, there is tape on the F1 cars. Like, those are things that really fascinate me. Like, I would really like to see like the traveling bag over mechanic. Like, what do they, or like, what are those, like how randomly, like, I'm guessing I have not gone to my very many share of garages, but do they always readily have like a hammer at hand to just get stuff out? That was hilarious. Like, there's a hammer, there's tape. Yeah, Formula One car can be fixed. Like, it's just so it's so ironic. No, is it irony? Is not the word. Like, it's just the two extremes. When you're thinking about hammer, it's something that you can hammer down, but also something that I can fix up with just tape. That is so baby girl of the Formula One cars. Like, it's just like, yeah, we can take the strain of a hammer, and also like, yeah, you can fix us. You can fix us with like tape. It's really like interesting, really. Yeah, Formula One is just, yeah, there's always this stuff happening. That was one of the things that really stood out for me as well. So from practice, was there really something that? Yeah, of course, Red Bull once again on a weekend. They don't seem very well dialed in. I mean, for sure, they know they always struggle in Monaco. The car that does not take the carbs well. We had carbs in Imola as well. The carbs here, the RB20 does not like the carbs. Slow speed corners does not like it. So, but we didn't expect them to. But I don't know if I had expectations from them, really. But they just didn't seem very well dialed in, especially with Max Verstappen. He was also complaining again on team radio. He was struggling again. So, Yeah, that was really, and him qualifying P6. I'm already jumping at again. Building, qualifying P6 is not the best place to start here, again because making amends in a race during the race is also close to impossible as well. We also had some power unit issues for the Alpine. That was really unfortunate because they didn't get really sufficient running in FP1, but I think they rectified with both cars actually, with Ocon and Gasly. But then I think they rectified that and were able to get in some good running as well. So this was really like game one for Charles Leclerc. He seemed like he had everything dialed in. He looked fast. And for once, I felt like I was not catfished by them. Last weekend, I was feeling like they had pace and then they didn't deliver in Monaco. Like I thought they would get pole, but they didn't. This weekend was a bit more better, but I still feel like qualifying, Charles Leclerc did not have the advantage I thought he would have. Like the one, he was showing pace, he was showing, his hands, he was really nailing everything, especially during practice. So, but I mean, still beautiful lap. He hooked it up in qualifying and qualified in P1. And it's not the first time he's done it. Like he's gotten pole in Monaco the last time, like I think two times, yeah. He's gotten pole, or I'll confirm. So he's gotten pole before at Monaco, but then we've already gone through his unfortunate his unfortunate happenings at Monaco. Yeah, so here the race historically has only been won by the top three. So if you're not into the top three, the data points towards you not being a race winner, really. So, and it's really hard to overtake, as we've said, narrow streets and all that. And the driver in front really dictates the pace at which the ones behind him will go at. And we saw testament to that because we had that whole we had like Leclerc, Piastri, Sainz, Lando, and then there's a very big gap that was at one point like a pit stop gap. Like you could pit, that like the top four runners could pit, either of them could pit and still come out ahead of George Russell. And then now we had that other as we said, I think I said before when I ended the Imola Grand Prix, like the Monaco is very processional. Like it is, like it's, you see that procession, you see people in church or whatever. It's really that you just follow each other because you have no option. And lunging, making moves on the making moves around Monaco is very, very, very difficult as well. But that didn't mean that we didn't get any moves. We did. The first move being of Valtteri Bottas on Logan Sargent. Yeah, so we did get a few overtakes, and also Lance Stroll after pitting to get his softs after getting that puncture during the race. I feel like today's episode doesn't have structure, but I hope you're flowing with me. So, yeah, we were in practice and just mentioning anything that really... I think one of the issues that Red Bull was struggling with is the ride height issue again. And I think we've talked about this is ride height. Ride height is like the distance between basically the floor, the track and the car. So sometimes you'll see the F1 cars park so much, and this is something that has actually gotten drivers disqualified before. Remember in Austin last year, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton were disqualified, for the plank, the thing at the bottom of the car, the wear was not, like, that means they had exited something, that they were riding the car so low, therefore breaking some of the regulations set by FIA, which is the F1's governing body. So that was one of and I'm still waiting to have that interview where we can just talk about someone who's already working in technical bits, like a mechanical engineer. So speaking of that, we do have like an episode coming out with, I know you guys know about Formula E, Formula Extreme, which will be rebranding to Formula H, the Formula Hydrogen next year. We'll have one of the engineers who's worked in Formula E with, not Formula E, with Formula Extreme E, so-called Formula Extreme E. We have that interview that will be dropping next week because we don't have a race next week, so that's the episode will be dropping. So make sure you get, you stay tuned for that as well. So qualifying really was very good for, I think we saw the gaps were very, 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 very small. So that means the margin for error the track is evolving very fast. Margin for error is very, very narrow, very narrow. So that means if you mess up something small, you're missing out on qualifying. And that's what happened to Checo Perez. And I think I want to see Checo Perez and also Fernando Alonso. They missed out on that as well. Checo Perez started so lowly. He qualified P18, no, P16. Yeah, P16. Yeah, after the disqualification of Haas. Yeah, let's just start. In fact, let's start there. That's anything that stood out for me in qualifying. Yeah, so we unfortunately lost. Is it unfortunately? Yeah, so the Haas team, apparently their DRS, the drag reduction system, that's the gap on the rear wheel, rear wing wheel, rear wing. The gap was too much, so that's why they were disqualified from the race. That's like a technical. So apparently the DRS was actually wider than it should be. Yeah, so that effectively got them disqualified from qualifying, and they were starting from the pit lane. Yeah, effectively. So that's why the other people were bumped up. But Sergio Perez also didn't have like a very good run in what is it called in qualifying, and so did and also Alonso as well. So both I think both Haas cars, before they were disqualified, had made it into Q2. They both V Cubs as well, Albon and Stroll as well, which was good. This is the weekend. I think that is all from qualifying. Nothing really exciting from that as well. Yeah, and Max Verstappen's P6. But we all almost saw that coming, right? Like he looked like he was struggling throughout the weekend. You know, he had to still fight. And I think this 2024 season is coming alive. I know we all arrived thinking this is going to be a straight for another 2023 season. Slam dunk, dominance, the Dutch anthem weekend in, weekend out, but this is proving to be actually like an interesting, interesting race, interesting season, because we've already had Carlos Sainz has won a race, Lando Norris has won a race, Max Verstappen has won a race, and now Charles Leclerc. So we're only 8 rounds in, and we already have 4 different winners, and I hope that's the trend we're going to follow now. Like, it's doable, and I hope, and now we have Charles Leclerc after his win in Monaco, P2 now in the constructors, below Max Verstappen, and then we also have the Red Bulls are only like 24 points ahead of Ferrari in the constructors championship. Yeah, so this season might actually be coming alive, right? So that's like something to look forward to. So I think I'll just go directly into the race. We can just talk race results as well. This is, before we do that, McLaren was running like a very special livery. I know, and I've seen this discourse a lot of times. I've seen this discourse online of people saying like, isn't it too much? You're paying the tribute to Senna, and like there's so much commercialization of it. Personally, me, I'm all for. I don't think you guys understand like how much of a legend. I mean, of course, there's always the danger of idolizing people who've passed on, that we do not remember, that we forget to humanize them. We just make them into idols. Like, there's no fault they did. Everything we talk about everything is driven towards sensationalism, like about their lives, really. With the McLaren livery and their suits, I don't think they're doing too much, because remember, this is a driver who's won around Monaco 6 times. And 5 of those times consecutively, from 1989 to 1993. 1989, 1990, 91, 89. I have to do my math. 89, 90, 91, 90, 93. Yeah, he won those 1989 to 1993 5 times. And then now he's win in 1987? Yeah, 1987. Yeah, so they were running this tribute. Remember, Senna was driving for McLaren. He that car that Sebastian Vettel drove around Imola the last time we were racing there, was the MP48, and that's the car he won Monaco in. Remember, so he's really an important figure for McLaren, and them running that tribute in Monaco, especially where he has excelled. He's still the most successful driver around Monaco. I don't think that was overdoing anything. And I think even with Sebastian Vettel, he's honoring his hero. And but also, like, on that note, I want to see who can do it. We've seen a lot of presence of Sebastian Vettel, even rumors of him making a return to Formula One with possibly Mercedes, because they still don't have that second driver. And there's one driver I really miss around the paddock. I want to see more of him, and that's Kimi Raikkonen. I know there's I'm so sure there's like a Finnish like TV broadcaster. I mean, like there must be, right? Kimi Raikkonen is from Finland. Like that's what I mean by Finnish. I need to see him like debriefing races or helping us decode like a weekend. This is like game on. I want to see who can get Kimi to make a return to to the F1 paddock. This is actually like a day. I want to see him back. That's the I want to see him. I want to see Kimi in the. I would listen to that. I know it will be straightforward, hard to, not so many words. It's just, I know it will be chill. I know that's something I'll be tuned in for. I miss Kimi Raikkonen. I want to see him back somewhere. I know he's now probably, I mean, of course, he's deep in, taking care of his family. His son is racing as well. He has a very beautiful family, daughters. I think I think he's living it up. And I'm so sure after the Monaco, he would have been somewhere on his yacht or something, just doing, Kimi things. I really do miss Kimi Raikkonen. And I want him back on the paddock. There's a petition to have him, F1 TV or someone, just bring him on, bring him back. Also, the other interesting thing that I don't want to miss as well is that I feel like the F1 the Monaco Grand Prix coverage has improved since there was that switch from I think Tele Monte Carlo, that's the TV broadcasting that had broadcasting rights for a while. And we would always miss the key moments. And then they're switching to other things that are not really necessary, and then we miss the overtakes or accidents. Yeah. So I think coverage is enough to say coverage has improved. We now even have heli shots of the cars snaking around the Monte Carlo streets. I think that's brilliant, and I think, I don't know, do you guys do you notice anything for those who've watched the Monaco Grand Prix several times as well? So let's go into the race. I feel like I'm talking about so many unrelated things. So I think I'll just start with the Ferrari. Beautiful race with Charles Leclerc. As we said, the front car, set space for the whole Grand Prix. So that means you just go cancelling. It's the one place where going slowly sometimes might even help you. So in Formula One, so Ferrari with their P1, P3 finish. Impressive behavior from Ferrari. Such a slave from them as well. Fred Vasseur must be a very happy team principal. Remembering he took over Ferrari from Mattia Binotto, who was fired in 2022. We had him get replaced by Fred Vasseur, and an very cheeky Frenchman as well. So I think he's doing very well there. Remember, he's achieved wins now at Ferrari, several wins. He had that Australian win by Carlos Sainz. He has this Monaco win, and he has that Singapore win from last year. So I can imagine he doesn't. I mean, of course, there's pressure always. It's Ferrari. I'm so sure there's always so much pressure coming from Maranello. So I think he's coping brilliantly as well. He also had that first 1-2 finish with his first 1-2 finish at the Australian Grand Prix as well. So I think that's slay of Fred Vasseur as well. And now him signing Hamilton. And I think I did this video on our TikTok. And I was thinking, do you guys think Lewis has anything to prove by going to Ferrari? He's won a century. He has over a century wins in Formula One, 7, 8 world championships, depending on who you ask. So does he have anything to prove, or what do you think what are the expectations over at Ferrari? Do you guys see he will just get in and switch on and be on it in Ferrari, or will he take up, he's stayed with Mercedes for so long, and coming even now, even though that home is destabilized, but he stayed at that's besides the point. The point is he stayed at Mercedes for a while now, and he making that switch to Ferrari, how do you guys think he will cope? And does he still need Bono to go with him for structure? Or what do you think can be done to actually make sure that the switch is more, comfortable and more settling for Lewis Hamilton? Yeah, so that's Fred Vasseur and doing iconic things. So apparently I also read in the rumor mill, because there's so many rumors in F1. So apparently Ferrari are no longer interested in Adrian Newey. I don't know how true that is, but Adrian Newey, one of the best, greatest Formula One designers. Remember, he's leaving Red Bull, and we still don't know where he's going. My money is still on him going to Ferrari. So Ferrari had a very good race. P1, P3, very good for them. Great weekend of points. And now they're only 24. They're only 24 points away from Red Bull. Let's talk about the McLarens. One person who makes me so happy is Oscar Piastri. Oscar Jack Piastri Leclerc. Remember, this is the weekend that Oscar was adopted by Charles Leclerc. Formula One is so unserious. And then in the FP1 results classification, they had Piastri hyphen Leclerc. So effectively, Piastri was racing. There's always there's this funny running joke that Oscar does, that he always tries to make every Grand Prix about, just find a way to make it his home race. Like, it's just like a funny thing. And Formula One is so unserious sometimes, but it's why we love the sport, right? So he found a way of making it Monaco his home race. Effectively adopted by Leclerc. He's now the Leclerc family was having a blast. P1, P2. Slay stuff. Oscar is so, I keep on talking when I talk to my friends, like, all the time, we're like, do you get how cool, and for a 23-year-old, Oscar is just so composed, he's well put together. You'll barely hear him, even his radios are just so witty, he's smart, he's everything. I think and I've said this before, Oscar, you are who you think you are, and Oscar, you are a budding world champion, and that championship is going to come. And that proper race win, remember, he's won a sprint race, but he's yet to win. I think he won in Qatar, right? Yeah, the sprint race. He's won a sprint race, and that proper race win is coming, and we will be there. He's such a cool, collected guy. And for a 23-year-old, he really does seem to have everything together. He's so charming as well. And all the best. I mean, we're rooting for him. He's one of the easiest people to support as well. So he was able to effectively, during the first stint of the race, he was able to follow Leclerc before the red flag. Like, he looked like he's actually taking the run at Leclerc's P1 in Monaco. Yeah, that was really impressive. But then now he tagged, I think he had some damage on his floor with that tag at Carlos Sainz. Yeah, I didn't mention that when I was talking about Ferrari, Jesus. Yeah, so Carlos had a moment with Piastri, and actually we thought he had lost his race effectively because he had a puncture. He had to pull over on the side, and then now we had the red flag, and that effectively brought him back into contention for the podium places. So Oscar, yeah, he's just so chilled. I love the way he's just chilled, and he had a good run, great with McLaren and also Lando Norris. Backing Lando drove a good race. I mean, what more could they do? P2, P4, perfect, good for McLaren. I love that they're now contending for podium places. That means they are looking very good for the rest of the races. Mercedes, I mean, of course, it's just, this is the first time you hear in team radio being told, go slowly in Formula One. Very, very peculiar times, truly. It's the Monaco Grand Prix. So I am all the time. I feel like talking about Mercedes, I become frustrated because now we had Lewis talk in the post-qualifying show saying, I mean, he doesn't expect to be ahead of Russell. And Lewis Hamilton, you can tell from his body language, everything. This man is really, there's things happening at Mercedes, and I'm not happy about it. I think there's, and we already said, once he signed with Ferrari and the news coming up so early, and I think Toto feeling Toto is behaving like a jilted lover, and he's really, I think they are doing things to compromise Hamilton. And that's what Hamilton is really basically telling us with his statements as well. That's what we'll read into that as well. And that was reflected in qualifying when he said he doesn't expect to be ahead of George Russell. That's not the Lewis we know. So I don't know what's happening there. This weekend, Russell was running an upgraded front wing as well, and okay, that happens, and Lewis wasn't running it anyway, so he was like, yeah, I mean, of course the next round in Montreal in Canada he will have the upgrades, but That's just one of the places. Again, in the race, they didn't tell him the outlap. The outlap is basically the lap you do from the pit. Sometimes it's can be critical so that you can effectively get ahead of the other person. Like in this case was Max Verstappen. For him to actually come out, they would have effectively undercut Max Verstappen by pitting early. So apparently there was and like Toto and I think the team has come out to say it's their fault. They were like, okay, there was like a bit of miscommunication. So, and the commentators, I know they were telling, there was after Lewis, like, I'm actually like so mad at it, not mad, but it makes me feel some type of way, really. So what they're saying effectively is that Lewis, his outlap would have had to be, sometimes you can be communicating in the radio, like it's a critical outlap, so you have to get on with it, like really push, so that like you can achieve like that undercut. So apparently they did not inform him, and Lewis was like, okay, why didn't you tell me that this outlap was critical? Because Max like just got ahead of Lewis Hamilton even after Mercedes trying to undercut him or whatever they were trying to do, really. And yeah, and then now after the race, they're saying maybe they did want to cook the tires, but like even though you cook the tires, like there was that gap. Like I don't understand. Like they still every time with the side of Lewis's garage, it seems to be more faults nowadays. I'm not happy about it. It was not really like pleasant, and I don't think it's a rookie mistake from Hamilton because these are things he was told to do a normal outlap because you're trusting your engineer, you're trusting, and this is Bono again. Remember, Bono, as I said, is the link between the driver effectively and the rest of the team, the factory, the feedback ran like the information fed between Lewis, Bono translates to Bono like relating the same information to the team on the factory. I don't like it. And I've said it before. And I know I think you guys are catching up on it. I do not think it would be a very good thing for Bono to go with Lewis. I think go and form another relationship. And because this team looks like, I don't like the way they're treating Lewis. It doesn't make me happy. Russell again. I mean, of course, I might be biased because I really do not feel like I like him so much. As in, he's always complaining again. You know, when you're being told, oh, do this thing, he's always offering another thing. His race was very good. How they were able to do all those laps on that medium tire, that was really, it was something. He didn't change tires. Like, he didn't change tire. He didn't change tires for the... Did he change tires? Yeah, he changed tires. Did he change tires? Yes, he changed tires when they pitted on those mediums. Those mediums did over 70 laps, which was, yeah, crazy to think about. Red Bull, we've already talked about it. Poor qualifying for both Red Bulls. Is the race now? Let's talk about what happened to Checo. Checo apparently says even from the onboard. So this is the biggest crash that happened in F1. So and his car was mangled. I'm so glad he was okay. He said he just came out with a scrapped elbow. Like that was the only damage on his body. On his car, different story. The car was a mangled wreck. It was a crash like this. It was so good to see him out of the car, by the way. So what happened is effectively, I think, Checo was, I will try to be very good with the description. So Checo is in this line. So this is a boundary of the race. So Checo is here, coming on the inside. So you can see from his own board as well, like he couldn't see Magnussen was inside. Magnussen is one driver who will never back out from a corner. No, I'm not letting go. He never backs out from battles. And this is why I effectively think he needs a race ban. And I would not be too surprised if he doesn't get a seat for next year. If he gets a seat, I'll be, okay. Like, I don't know. I don't know how that happened, but it shouldn't have happened, right? Like, I understand how that thing was it was investigated and I think classified as like a lap 1 incident, but that was really dangerous. K-Mag doesn't know when to back out. And I think that is what happened because, Checo was going on that corner. Magnussen was already like literally almost next to the wall. I think he was even brushing past the wall. Checo couldn't see him. So Nani and K-Mag will not back out. Of course, he can see Checo because Checo is ahead of him. So he crashed into him, tagged him, and then, Hulkenberg also was caught up in that. And then, like, Checo's car was getting whacked against the wall again, pushed by the car that's behind him. Wah! Yeah, that was really a bad accident. I don't know how he wasn't penalized. He's so lucky to get away with it. I know Me, I'm not even going to. I want K-Mag to get that wristband. He's been really. Remember, he has 10 points on his super license, and once he get to 12, because his first cycle of points expiring is next year, sometime in March or February. March, effectively March. So I think now if he gets like any more two, and I think he should have gotten some penalty points, even 2 or more, because that was really some nasty behavior. Yeah, so that effectively destroyed Checo's race. He was out of the race. Both Haas cars, after that disqualification in qualifying, they were effectively out of the race. That's about it. Williams, congratulations to... Last time I said James Wells is yapping a lot. He stopped yapping. He's still going to yap. He's like he's a Williams content creator, and I love James Wells. Yeah, they finally have points with Alexander Albon and who finished in the points at P9. That was very slay and impressive of Williams as well. Alpine. Let's talk about Alpine. I've already said they had issues in practice, solved them. Qualifying, very good. Both cars got into Q2, so they were not really starting from a very bad place until my ST bestie during the race. How do you lunge at your teammate in the inside? I felt that was an unnecessary move, and Ocon has come out to say, yeah, small fall. Yeah. What were you trying to do, SD? Like, do you want to take Pierre Gasly? I know this Frenchman. Oh my God. His car was literally, Uko. He was in the air. I think, of course, that damaged his car and effectively got him out of the race. He couldn't even start even after the red flag. So, ST, please. I can't even fight for you in this one. Like, I love Ocon, but like, I don't know how to fight for you. You have to you're giving the enemies ammunition, bestie. Like, you need to make my work easier so I can root for you, But like, that was, you do not go at your teammate like that, because you will take each other out. And that could have been a very costly move. Costly in the sense that it's expensive to repair these F1 cars, and costly in the sense that you could have taken both cars and taken out the possibility of the team scoring points. And I'm so sure both drivers were not happy with it. Pierre Gasly was not pleased by it. ST, I need you to do better. But good job from Esteban Ocon. From Pierre Gasly scoring points for Alpine in P10. They're really doing good, Alpine, like from having such a bad start to the season with a very, very heavy car. Yeah, so Williams scoring points, so slave them. Now that means it's only Kick Sauber that hasn't scored points for the constructors. I hope that your time is coming. Valtteri is a good racer. Joe can also score some. I hope he does get to score some points. Let's talk about Aston Martin. Aston Martin, terrible weekend for them. For the first time this season, they've not scored points. Aston Martin, here we have bad qualifying. Your race is going to be pissed. You've already pissed on your race already, so it's very hard to make amends forward. So yeah. So, and also Stroll had pitted and then had a puncture. He walked the wall, puncture, and then mounted softs. I think his race was already done, but he was already making some moves on the softs. But that was it for his race, really. The other interesting thing, actually, like about Fernando, Fernando's partner is like a Formula One presenter, one of the Spanish broadcasters. It's always fun seeing them. Like I want to get to that's some good, level of professional working. Like his girlfriend works in F1, and he's actually she's interviewing Fernando like all the time, and it's really like an interesting dynamic. That's something I love to see, work-life balance, 100%. Love to see it, yeah. Aston Martin, for the first time, no points for them this weekend. Sauber, no points again. Yeah, sad story for Valtteri Bottas, who gave us the first overtake on Sargent. But nothing they could get from Monaco. And Haas, of course, after them being disqualified from qualifying, no points for them as well. So Yeah, I think basically that is it. Oh, yeah, and so I think with this whole thing, I'm always doing my B's at the end. So basically, I'll just say what stood out for me. My B for this weekend has to be Charles Leclerc winning the Monaco Grand Prix. Like the whole radio itself was really emotional. Him dedicating that win to his dad. And yeah, it's very good. Like when people who have believed in your cause, people who have propped you, supported you, and are not, it really gets emotional. And he dedicated that Jules Bianchi, who was very instrumental in getting Ferrari to take a notice and take on Charles Leclerc, who has not wasted that opportunity, worked for it, and he's one of the drivers. You cannot say it's money that got them into F1. It's their talent that has allowed them to stay in Formula One as well. That was really cute and nice to see him win. That has to be my B of the weekend. That's the biggest spectacle. My honey, the sweetest thing. Also, it's just related to Leclerc again. Leclerc's diving form is 11 out of 10. Very good. 100 out of 10. Like, good. Did you see him dive? It's always like a tradition around, like, Monaco. When you win, you go to the swimming pool. And I'm so sure you've seen that clip of Daniel Ricciardo when he won Monaco in 2018. Was it? No. Some years back when he won and he plunged into that swimming pool. It's always a tradition. Lewis Hamilton has done it. When you win Monaco, you have to dip into that water. Yeah. And yeah, so that has to be my honey. It was so cute. And Fred Vassar being thrown in there. Fred is really he's really having the time of his life with this Maranello team, which is brilliant and lovely to see as well. My sting for the weekend has to be that I was rating, this sting has to be that crash, like, because mostly I had Hulkenberg in my fantasy team. Yeah, that was really like painful to watch and like, wow, yeah. Also, like if you watch the F1 commentary, people are so lucky. Monaco, you're living in your living room and you can watch Formula One from your living room. Oh my God, Monaco is really like, it's just about in luxury, opulence. Exactly, that's a word. Like watching watching Formula One from the comfort of your balcony. Iconic. Or watching from the yard, so many influencers there as well at the Monaco Grand Prix because it's very, 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 very opulent and it's also one of the places I'd like to go. But this weekend was actually like, it was also Indy 500, like the Indy 500 weekend as well. Heartbreak for Pato O'Ward, who, was almost winning that one. It was really like an electric finish to the Indy 500. So, let me see who won. Of course, not Pato O'Ward. Yeah, Joseph Newgarden has won it again. The Indy 500 is actually like it's just an annual automobile race held at the Indianapolis Motorway Speedway. Yeah, so yeah, I think there was just so many things happening, seeing so many influencers do their things around Monaco. I'd want to go to Monaco, like just for the vibes, 100%. I'm trying to see if there's anything we've missed out on our debrief. No, not really. And I think that's it from me. Like, interesting weekend. Congratulations to Charles Leclerc, and thank you guys for always keeping the world spin. So happy first birthday to the World Spin podcast. I think we've already turned one since we first posted like our first episode, but like effectively the Monaco really is the one that we count like as a birthday now. Yeah, and remember to keep tuned to the World Spin. We have exciting news to share with you one of these days, during this week. Just make sure you're tuned into that. So that's all from me. I hope I've not missed anything. Oh yeah, I wanted to speak about the role of simulated drivers, but I think that's something I can effectively touch on for next week's episode. Oh yes, at the Canadian Grand Prix. So that's all from me. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for subscribing and following us on all our social media handles. That's all from me. Have a lovely week ahead, and I'll catch you in Montreal. Bye.